Welcome to the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Keenan. This is Season 3 of the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. In this episode, we aim to bring you the biggest and best stories from those who work and make our fly fishing industry truly great. The Fly Fishing Insider Podcast dives deep into the past, present, and future of all our guests, uncovering their amazing stories and journey. Join us each week as we interview a new podcast guest. Also, if you're new to the show or not yet a subscriber, make sure you hit subscribe after this episode. Welcome to the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. Today, your guest is me. I am also the host. So this is the year in review show that we're going to do, where every year I talk at the end of the year about what happened and past, present, and going forward, what's going on. So 2020, what a year it's been for everybody. Crazy year globally. And, a lot of people affected, a lot of turmoil and tragedy as well. So we feel bad and our hearts go to those people that were affected. So definitely. However, the podcast over the past year, what have we been doing? So how did COVID affect us in the podcast? Some things were bad, some things were good. So we'll start with how it affected us. While people were in isolation, our numbers and our new listeners had found the podcast, and our listenership had grown triple the amount of what it was before. So we found a ton of new listeners to the show, just like yourselves, and a lot of people, and it just shows that, we thank you for finding the show. A lot of people are obviously at home and decided to explore podcasts more. The biggest surprise is actually the European market had really taken over, and a lot of our demographic came from there, as well as the Canadian market and the United States as well. So a huge shout out to you guys for finding us. Thank you for finding the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. We hope we can continue to entertain and educate you guys as well. So on the negative side, how COVID is. So COVID took away 3 trips that we had booked to some really cool places that we were going to give you guys an opportunity to win free trips to. What was there? Costa Rica, a couple trips to Mexico. There was one in the works possibly happening for Iceland. So a lot of trips that were given were booked, ready to go. We had to fight with the airline companies to try and get our money back. Which was not fun. It looked like we happened to make that happen. And I know going forward in 21, there's possibly the Costa Rica trip is going to be back on. I might not be able to go, but one of my other affiliates with the trip company might be able to go. So stay tuned, because we want to make sure that one of you lucky listeners or followers on our Instagram page at Fly Fishing Insider Podcast is lucky enough to go to Costa Rica. So definitely make sure that happens here. So the other thing is it really put a distance between the podcast and, my American friends down south. I had so many times plans to go and, go camping and hanging out with you guys. I know you guys know who you are. I know we talk weekly. We were planning to do a lot of content creation, fish some rivers that I've never fished before in Montana and Colorado and stuff like that. So that with us not being able to cross the border, I even went out and bought a travel trailer for that. But that was taken away. Much like all of us, we all had to sacrifice. So IFD was taken off the chopping block, and that's a great time of year for the Fly Fishing Insider Podcast, because that is like Christmas for a podcast that interviews brands and up and coming companies, as IFTD is the International Fly Fishing Tackle Dealers Show, and that's usually in Colorado. That is our time to get a lot of content and make great connections and stuff like that. So that was taken away from us. The launch of our lodge program, we had to put that on hold. We have a lodge program, which I'll be talking about going forward, but that was definitely on hold as well. So, as well as YouTube content. I know that we had to put that on hold. We had a lot of YouTube content creation for new products and highlights and stuff like that we were going to film in some of our local fly shops. And, with the distancing and everything and shutdown, it just didn't materialize. So like everyone, we were all affected, but you know what? Here's what we did do. And here's what we did really well with. So this past year, we partnered with Scientific Anglers for the Scientific Angler show called Guided. It was called the Guided Podcast, and no doubt it was some of the most fun I've ever had podcasting. I got to talk to some amazing guests that we've still we're friends now with. These are guys that are like top of the game level in fly fishing. The show was sponsored by SA, and they did put me in contact with their ambassadors. It was only their ambassadors that we spoke with. And I mean, these are the guys that are helping SA design line. I learned so much about line design and what's required with that, and the backstories on just so many crazy cool things with that. That was so fun. Man, learning from these guys and learning so many tips and tricks and everything. It's just, it really put things into perspective. So, and I try to translate that down the podcast to you guys, the listeners, with their guide tips and trying to help you out. So if you have not yet heard Guided, the episodes are still out there. They are on the podcast. I highly suggest you check them out. It was a lot of fun, life-changing, series that I did. I did a 24-part mini series with them on that. So a ton of fun. I think that was our biggest thing that was that we did last year in 2020. So the Fly Fishing Insider podcast, I did a couple TV episodes up here in Canada, which was kind of fun. So I went and did some Stillwater stuff with a popular TV show up here in Canada called Real West Coast with my buddy Brandon Morrison. For those that don't know, Brandon is a ex-NHL Vancouver Canuck player, and he's also super involved with the Tofino charity race for the blue, which helps out the community in Tofino, British Columbia. Brennan's an avid fisher, fly fisher, ocean fisher, super cool dude. Great guy, amazing. So we did a ton of Stillwater stuff. We also paired up together and we gave away a trip to one of the Stillwater lodges for 2021, and a young lady named Taryn Grimm, she won that contest, and it was a bunch of gear and just the typical Fly Fishing Insider stuff that we do is give away these amazing trips and gear packages. So that was really cool. I know we did that back in, was it May, I think? Yeah, May. Stillwater stuff. So keep an eye out if you are in Canada and the show Real West Coast, or if you're somewhere else, definitely check out Real West Coast. And you should see us on there. I got some great backstories to that filming as well. I mean, all I can tell you is it snowed just before we got to the lake in May or June, somewhere like that, and the fish were just turned off, but we managed to pull up a ton of fish. So super cool. What else do I got here? River Rat giveaway, that was huge as well. I know myself and my friend Forrest Rogers from Rock Shreds, great company. We paired up together with our friend Brian from River Rat. If you guys have not had a River Rat boat yet, by the way, if you're looking at an inflatable, this is something that we fully endorse, is a River Rat boat. They are by far one of the best, if not the best, raft out there for inflatables. So prove me wrong. We'll have to hear it. I mean, I did the interview with those guys, or a podcast back in this year as well, so you can learn all about the technology and everything that kind of goes into it. I love their boats. I love where they're going. So we did a gear giveaway worth over $7,500 for a raft and a gear and everything like that. And that went really well. That was a lot of fun, as always. Fly Fishing Insider podcast gives away these massive prizes, and we continue to do so. So for sure, that was a lot of fun. If you guys are looking at boats, that's probably something that I would definitely check out. So that was a really good highlight for us this year as well. So this year as well, we did a trip to Skechine Lodge, which is again an episode that we did. Skechine is this like super cool Stillwater lodge. It's like off the grid, but it's like luxury off the grid. It's really cool. I don't know how do I explain it. So you're the only person, you're not the only person. There's a lodge there. There's all these cabins, but then there's like, I think there's like 8 lakes that you can fish. But there's boats on each of these lakes, and they're quick little hikes. Like, some are like 500 meters, and others might be like less than a kilometer or a mile long. And you can go to the lake, and you're going to be the only person on that lake that's going to be there all day, and it's so cool. The fish are these wild rainbow trout. They get pretty big, and they just fight. They're so ferocious, these fish. So the lodge, though, I mean, like, just so cool. I mean, one of the coolest things was there, everything's included. 5-star meals, the drinks are included. It's like help yourself. I've never seen a help yourself beer fridge. And if that doesn't impress you, they have this pulley system where you can just like pull this cable, and up comes this crate out of the lake full of like ice cold beer from the lake, because you're so high up. You're over 4,000 feet high at the lodge. I mean, the fishing is amazing, like, year round. It's a short season, but it's just so cool. So we have a ton of good stuff coming with Skechine. We've partnered with Skechine in 2020 on a ton of stuff. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned. Even follow Skechine. That's at Skechine Lodge. They're on my Instagram if you can't find them, but it's what is it? Skitchine Lodge. These guys are really cool. We have a prize. I'm going to give a little sneak peek here. We have a prize coming out this spring for someone or 4 people to enter and win a Stillwater getaway package from them. So that is coming down the pipe here. So that'll be fun. We also took a trip up to go see our good friend Gill Mclean on the Skechine River with West Coast Fishing Adventures, and that was a blast. Gill is like, I think I talk to that guy once a week. Like, he's just hilarious. The stories he's got. Gil's going to be coming on our podcast for 21. He's got some really good stories, and I know Gill and I have been talking back and forth, and I know he's toying with some ideas and stuff like that. But fantastic time on the Skechine, hanging out with Gill, doing the spay thing. Definitely got to work out. Definitely a big learning curve for me. With Gill, like, he's a pro caster, and I had to brush up on my skills there. I said it. He had to, teach, we had to go back, strip it down, rebuild that spay cast. And, I walked away with a ton of more knowledge than I did. So unfortunately though, when we went on that trip, there was three or 4 of us, and we doubled down, and man, we did not get one steelhead. We could not find a steelhead in the Skechine. Now, we didn't fish any tributaries because I didn't want to. I wanted to fish the main stem. I just wanted to hit that. We wanted to promote that. We wanted to try and do the video on the Skechine main stem river, right? That's kind of what it is in the wild steelhead that are amongst that river. So unfortunately, like I said, we didn't get nothing. We got a couple smolts, but nothing film worthy. And we're gonna go back and we're gonna do it again. So Gill, that one's for you, buddy. What else can I tell you? So we have also, I'm just reading my notes here, guys. This has been a ton of stuff. So you probably noticed with the podcast as well. We're slowly changing things, and so I guess going forward is what we're doing. So that was the year, but we kind of freshened up our logo, and we've changed how our logo looks. I mean, it's still got the same feel, the black and red and all that sort of stuff. You probably noticed from the intro here on this episode, the podcast intro has changed as well. Again, it's a freshen up. We just wanted to freshen things up and keep everyone on their toes. So those are some of the small changes that we have going on. Some of the bigger changes and some of the bigger highlights that we're going to be doing. Let's start with the podcast itself. the podcast is not going to be going ahead with the guided series this year. We had so much fun with that. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. So we're gonna take a different route, and we're gonna be doing some sponsored content for our shows and for our like our pre rolls and stuff like that, and mid rolls for our podcast. But they will all be fly fishing and us like endorsing that product in a proper way, like show. So you won't hear any CBD ads or anything like that. That's just not in line with our values and making our industry grow. That's what we're all about, is making sure that we can find brands, find people, find services that align with our values so that we can, again, make this industry grow. So that's something that we're doing. And we do have, we're offering some amazing pricing for sponsorship on those podcasts, given our audience and everything like that. So as well. So if you are interested, definitely head on over, DM me. Find me somehow. All my content's on my page, our website at Fly Fishing Insider podcast, or www.flyfishinginsiderpodcast.com. So there's a lot of that. So I just really want to make sure and make it clear that, if it's not fly fishing related, like, please just don't reach out to us. I can't. I don't have the time to entertain that. And you know what? My audience doesn't want to hear about, stuff that's just not fly fishing. I think that makes sense, right, guys? All right. Cool. Next this is their big thing, is our lodge program. We are up and running for business on that. So if you are a fly lodge or a lodge, a fishing lodge, and you're looking for marketing opportunities that are proven, then you need to reach us now. We have limited spacing and spots for this, and our lodge program is proven. It works, and it's phenomenal. So with that said, if you're a lodge program, get in touch with us at Fly Fishing Insider Podcast on the gram, or www.flyfishinginsiderpodcast.com. Ask for me, and I will talk you through and walk you through our lodge program for 21. So definitely really cool. So also in 21, we have developed and designed these amazing, really cool. Everyone knows my love of Stillwater. So really good friend of mine, BC Fly Guys, at BC Fly Guys, Braden Dixon. I don't know why I said Brandon, my son. Brandon Dixon, he and I have partnered up, and we're teaching these Stillwater courses again at Skechine Lodge. So that's that super nice high-end lodge I just mentioned. So we're going to be teaching these courses. They're set for June, the Stillwater courses. There's going to be a ton of stuff included in that. Definitely reach out to us. It's limited to 12 people, I believe. We will be doing, it's 14 people total, but there'll be an opportunity for somebody and a guest to win or not a trip there as well. So with that said, definitely, reach out to us if you're interested or you want to learn more. We can get that info to you. We have the development on that, but a lot of it will be releasing out at the end of February, beginning of March is when we'll be pushing that onto you guys. But there's opportunity now if you wanted to book now as well. So make sure you again, reach out to us if you're interested, and I can get you all the info that you need and get you onto the right place. So definitely. You might also, I talked about the logo changes. Also, we're going to be doing other really cool things too with the Fly Fishing Insider. Is we're going to be doing at the beginning of each episode, or maybe not each episode, but quite a few of the episodes, I'm going to be doing a bit of housekeeping. We have so much stuff going on for 21, and it's hard for me to keep track of all our promotions and our operations and all that sort of stuff, that I'll be doing some housekeeping pre-episodes. So, you might hear some really cool stuff, but that's going to keep you guys informed. That's going to keep you guys, going the right way. So if I have a contest that we're running, because I know like we are stacked with contests and stuff like that, I want to make sure that you guys, the listeners, are entering and all that sort of stuff as well, and getting to the right place and finding that information. So definitely really cool. What else is there for 21? I think I'm giving away a sticker. on our Instagram. I know that's weird, random, but yeah, we are getting all these I Love Stillwater fly fishing stickers made up. So all you gonna have to do is go to the gram, click, get my free swag, something like that, and it pops up. So that is still in process. So don't run out there right now. As the time of hearing this, it should be ready by the end of January. So just with COVID, there's a bit of delay in the sticker business. Let's just say that. So what else are we up to? Oh, this summer, I'm taking the summer off to spend time with my family from the podcast. However, with that said, there will be episodes running, like we don't stop, but there will be episodes running, and we'll be running these things called our how-to series. And the how-to series will be how to fish a fishery. So with that being said, hey, this is kind of like a casting call for anyone. I'm looking for how-to series on, from muskie fishing to pike fishing, all on the fly, of course. Muskie fishing, pike fishing, striped bass, the greatest people out there, mako shark fishing, whatever. If you think you got a cool episode on a how to build a fly rod, send it to me. Let's do it. Let's get you on here, and just a super quick little interview on how to do things that are interesting and fun. That's kind of where we want to go with that. Again, really cool stuff. I think, that's gonna be pretty big. Taking the summer off. I've never done that before. I've been hitting this hard for coming up on 3 years now. And I think I need a break just for the summer. So, and that is months and months away, 6 months away from now at the time of you hearing this. So, the other thing is we have built a full-on sound studio. I don't know if you can notice a difference, but new upgraded equipment, new microphone, might sound a bit different. Or it's maybe the acoustics in our full-on recording and video studio that we just put a ton of time, a chunk of money, and energy into building. So that is we're on fire with that. The only thing is it's a little cold in here. I guess as the equipment runs hot. But it's fantastic. I'll make sure I get some images up on our gram so you guys can check out our studio. It is I love it. It's just so comfortable. It's got this log cabin feel. Everything's authentic. It's just really cool with great acoustics, great lighting, drop down lighting, all professional grade. So that is really cool. And why did we build a video studio? Well, you can probably imagine we are doubling down and going in on YouTube, guys. That is right. So YouTube is huge for us in 2021. So starting the end of January, in January, we'll have YouTube videos going out, and I'll talk about that in a second. But at the end of January, we'll be definitely releasing YouTube videos, and they will be coming out at you guys, hopefully weekly. We aim to go weekly. We're really trying to push the content on that. So it'll be anything from reviews to videos of us fishing, how-tos to, pretty much anything that we can video that's going to be relevant and super cool that you guys are going to like. Definitely do that. So, and that's out on our Fly Fishing Insider Media YouTube channel. So if you have not yet subscribed to that, again, head over there at Fly Fishing Insider Media YouTube, and hit subscribe. Let's get you going on that. So also with that said, with our YouTube, we have formed a fly tying team. So I have a team of guys, and they tie for us on behalf of the Fly Fishing Insider as they're top of the game in their tying bugs. So basically each person has their skill. So I have Ryan Taylor, who's out in Ontario, and he ties in hand, and he ties the classic spay flies, all that sort of stuff, steelhead flies, but more so the classic stuff, which is really cool for those, classic fly tires out there. So, and then I have Elliott Bass out in Squamish, British Columbia. He's a tire as well. So those that are looking for those real good gnarly West Coast bugs, those those spay flies, those big salmon steelhead flies, all that sort of stuff. So I have Elliott tying for us out there. And then here in Kamloops, British Columbia, we have again Brandon Dixon, and he is tying all our Stillwater stuff. So he's super cool. Again, from BC Fly Guys. Ton of tying skills behind that guy as well. So if you need to check out any of his bugs as well, definitely do that. So that's new for us to have that, and they'll be posting videos up on our YouTube channel as well, making sure that you guys get opportunities to learn and whatnot. So, and there's a ton of stuff that we have with them coming down the pipe as well. I don't want to get into everything with it right now, but there's really good opportunities and stuff like that. So the YouTube is there. Lastly, so I guess this is kind of cool. There is another podcast that I am working on, and with another well-known podcaster. I guess I'll just say it. I wasn't going to say it. So at the beginning of March, myself and Dave Stewart from the Wet Fly Swing have teamed up, and we have formed a podcast called We Speak Trout. And it is only a trout podcast about trout fishing. And it's more than that. I don't want to let too much out of the bag, because that's kind of like its own little thing, but that is, that's happening. That's really good. We're super pumped. We put a ton of energy and time into that show as well. We got really good guests. We're always looking for more. It's not just a fly fishing podcast, I'll tell you that. It's 70% fly fishing, 30% say conventional fishing. I know one of our first episodes that we're opening with is ice fishing for trout. I think it's called cornholing for trout. So there you are. That's the sick humor of We Speak Trout, and it's just going to be a fun, different style of podcasting. When it's ready to come out, hopefully you'll all subscribe to that as well. So for sure. So it's kind of a past present of what's going on here for the Fly Fishing Insider. As you can tell, we aim to please. We value your feedback. So anyone that has any comments or anything like that, please reach out, send them to me. Let me know, good, bad, so what you're thinking. If you also, like I said, if you think you might be one of those people that'll be good to teach or good as a guest to get on our show for the how-to series, I definitely want to hear from you on that. Definitely, don't be shy. Reach out, and we'll just take it from there. Also, if everyone knows it's my mission and my personal goal to grow fly fishing and make it a very diversified sport. And one of the ways I like to grow fly fishing is by including everybody and giving the small guy a chance, because these are the people, and this is truly from the bottom of my heart. These are the guys and girls that are gone out there, and they've laid their own money on the line to start a podcast or to start a clothing brand, or to create some kind of service or item or product, whether it's a custom rod company or this or that, it doesn't matter. What it means is, like, they've gone out, they've tried to start something. So if you are that person, and you have been in business for longer than 1 year, I definitely want to hear from you. So please, again, reach out to us at Fly Fishing Insider Podcast, and we'll see what we can do. And let's get that story out there and see how we can help you guys grow. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I definitely want to support good things like that. So with that being said, I can't thank you guys, the listeners, enough. It's the reason why we keep going, is in creating and bringing you these shows and these guests, and reaching out to the best guests within the industry that we can get our hands on. I like to think that we do get the best guests. Without a doubt, I kind of feel like I know we do, because that's the level of caliber you listeners are at. You deserve the best. So I can't thank you guys enough for supporting us, supporting my dreams, helping me out. So if you haven't subscribed to the show, please make sure you do. Tell a friend about us. Help us out. Just help us grow so that we can, get more and create more and get more opportunities for you guys to be more engaged on. So definitely. And I definitely, with engagement, I definitely want to hear from you guys, don't be shy. Tell me, reach out to me. I always, unless it's something silly or non-related to fly fishing, I always respond. It might be like 1 word, 2 words, or it might be like, "Hey man, are you up for a call?" So anyone knows me knows that that's kind of how I operate. So please make sure you reach out to us if you have something or feedback or anything. I value it. So as I value you, and I value you for following along each week to the Fly Fishing Insider podcast. So with that said, I'm going to sign off for 2020 and 21. Let's go. All right, guys, all the best. And I'll hear from you and see from you guys next week. You've been listening to the Fly Fishing Insider podcast. If you like this podcast episode, please let us know. Leave a review and subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast listening platform.